Hey everybody, it's Greg from Park Journey. So I'm coming at you today with a new video. There's been a couple of leadership changes announced over the last couple of days at both Six Flags and Universal Parks. So I kind of wanted to talk about them both. I was actually just going to talk about the Six Flags changes, but the Universal Parks announcement came out this morning as well. So I figured I'd go ahead and bundle them up here. It also is IAAPA week. So we are following along with a lot of the announcements. The new coaster at Fun Spot in Atlanta was officially announced this morning with some of the layout. A couple of new Sally Dark rides, one coming to Iowa and one to Monterey here in California. Super exciting news there. Renee will be at IAAPA tomorrow, Tuesday, the 17th of November. So stay tuned for that. We're going to have a lot of updates, obviously, all day. The rest of the week, and while, share some final IAAPA thoughts, at the end of the week here as well. We've got a crazy busy weekend coming up as well, with park updates. We'll be at the kickoff for the holidays at Legoland on Friday, Legoland, California. But I'm going to do one of my crazy park hopping days. Stop at Universal, do an update. I'll stop at Knott's. We're not doing the media night for Merry Farm. Whole other story there. But I will stop by during the day and do a Knott's update on my way down to Legoland. Perhaps a quick stop at SeaWorld as well, just to try some of the holiday stuff. I was planning actually going to SeaWorld after Legoland, but they close at 7, and the Legoland event's at 6, so there's no way that's going to work on a Friday night. So we'll hopefully get back to SeaWorld to check out the nighttime stuff at some point this season. And then on Saturday, we will be at opening night for Holiday in the Park at Six Flags Magic Mountain. So like I said, a crazy busy week here, obviously with IAAPA and stuff, but wanted to share some thoughts on the leadership changes at both Six Flags and Universal Parks. Before I get into it, make sure you click below to subscribe to our channel. Greatly appreciate it. So I'm going to first start off with the Six Flags announcement that came out yesterday. Salim Basool has been appointed the new CEO and president of Six Flags. Ben Baldanza is now the non-executive chairman. They both are replacing Michael Spanos, who's been the CEO for about 2 years now. Honestly, I thought Mike actually had been doing a really good job getting the parks through the pandemic. I think they made a lot of really great choices the last 2 years, as far as attractions are concerned, what they did during the pandemic, when the parks were closed, things like that. I thought they did a lot of really good things, so I'm not really sure why this is happening. I don't think it was a performance thing at all. Even some of the investor stuff that's been coming out of Six Flags recently has been pretty positive, as far as, what you expect a chain that had some parks closed, for well over a year, to have. So I'm not really sure, why this was made. We have some thoughts. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing this video if we didn't have some thoughts as to why this is happening. I'm just not sure why, but we do have some thoughts as to why, obviously. But we posted it on our social yesterday. It's just a link from Business Wire. Six Flags, the world's largest regional theme park company and its largest operator of water parks in North America, announced Salim Basool, formerly the non-executive chairman of the board, has been appointed CEO and president effective immediately. Mr. Basool will replace Mike Spanos, who has stepped down after 2 years of service. And then Ben Baldanza is taking over Salim's past role as the independent director of Six Flags. He is the former CEO of Spirit Airlines. So again, we'll kind of talk a little bit about how that kind of fits in. Has been elected the new non-executive chairman of the board. So we are thrilled that Salim has agreed to help Six Flags into a new area of growth. His long and exceptional track record as a public company CEO, his experience, entrepreneurial spirit, and inspiring personality make him the perfect CEO for Six Flags at this moment in time. In addition, the board would like to thank Mike for his tireless efforts as he successfully shepherded Six Flags through an exceptionally challenging time through COVID, including the safe reopening of all of the parks. As they indicated on their earnings call on October 27th, fourth quarter attendance trends have accelerated compared to the third quarter. Looking forward to building that momentum into 2022 and beyond. So like I said, I don't I don't think it's a performance issue. A lot of times when something like this happens, you look at stock performance or park performance or things like that as an indicator, and I don't think that really kind of played into it this time. I think there's something else going on here, which again I'll get into here in a minute. And then the press release has some information about Salim. Is the former CEO and chairman of Middleby Corporation, global manufacturer of high-end residential appliances. And then it kind of talks about, how he helped that company. And it also has some information about Ben. As I mentioned, he was the CEO, president, and director of Spirit Airlines from 2006 to 2016. So that's kind of like the business side of it. Our kind of thought is what isn't working within Six Flags is going to get scrapped pretty quickly. Whether that means parks getting scrapped, whether that means different programs getting scrapped that aren't working. It could mean a variety of different things. So we wouldn't really be surprised to kind of see some things kind of get cut within the chain. Underperforming parks definitely is going to be one of them. Maybe some of those parks that came back a few years back, maybe no longer under Six Flags. As far as when these changes will happen, probably pretty quickly. Obviously, you don't make this kind of change without wanting to see results rather quickly. So we'll see what happens. This is an immediate change. This is not something that's happening in January of 2022. This is something that is immediately happening. So when you look at Six Flags as a whole chain, you look at the parks that they own. Obviously, Magic Mountain, safe, right? Six Flags over Texas, Six Flags Fiesta Texas, safe. Six Flags over Georgia, safe. Great America, Great Adventure, safe. I would say St. Louis, safe. New England, safe. Mexico, safe. I mean, that Mexico park is a huge money generator. So again, safe, 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 safe. But then you look at parks like maybe La Ronde, or you look at Darien Lake, or you look at Frontier City, look at Six Flags America, things like that. It could also mean just swapping out the theme parks for a water park. So, it's no secret that water parks are pretty valuable business right now, and they're much less expensive to run than a theme park. They're not open as long as a theme park. They're, adding new additions is not as expensive as a theme park. So you look at things like your water parks for your different things. So you've got, Hurricane Harbor, Oklahoma City, and you've got Frontier City. Well, maybe they keep the water park and they ditch the theme park. Now, one park I didn't mention, if you're paying attention, is I did not mention Discovery Kingdom. Now, there's been a lot of rumors about some park coming to Fresno, as far as coming, in between, Magic Mountain and Discovery Kingdom. It's probably a little bit closer to Discovery Kingdom than it is to Magic Mountain, but it's pretty much kind of right in the middle there in Middle California. There's been a lot of talk. There was even some rumors that Discovery Kingdom was going to close and they were going to ship some of that stuff off to Fresno. I don't think that's going to happen unless Discovery Kingdom ends up closing. But I don't think that that's really going to happen. But one of the other things to consider is they do have, height restrictions at Discovery Kingdom. They do have, restrictions on where they can build things. If you know the layout of that park, basically all of the rides and coasters are on kind of the freeway side. And then kind of the lake side just has, the animal attractions and things like that. So is it possible? Sure. Will it happen? I don't think so, but I wouldn't be surprised if you saw maybe some of these other parks closing. Like I said, Frontier City, I hate to say it, Six Flags America, Darien Lake. I don't think they would close, but like Great Escape, and those rides kind of being shipped off to a new park in Fresno. Think about it. Think about a new park in Fresno, and their premier coaster is Superman from Six Flags America. Right? Think about it. Instantly would be one of the top coasters in California. I mean, let's just put it bluntly. So we'll see what happens. Again, I think that there's going to be some changes. I think that they will probably be pretty positive changes as far as the consumer is concerned. But we'll see kind of what happens with the consolidation of different things at the parks. All right. So moving on to the Universal announcement that was just announced this morning. So Tom Williams is announcing his retirement, and Mark Woodbury is named the chairman CEO of Universal Parks and Resorts. So this is not a change that is happening instantly like the Six Flags change. This is actually happening next year. So Tom is retiring in March of 2022, and Mark will be assuming his position in January. So there's going to be, a little bit of overlap there between the two. So this is not somebody's being dismissed or anything. Tom is just retiring. So a little bit about Mark Woodbury. He's been with Universal for more than 30 years. He was the vice chairman, was responsible for planning design strategy for Universal Parks and Resorts worldwide. He was also president of Universal Creative, which thumbs up, right, for us theme park people. Always love having people from creative in positions of power at the top of parks, which is great. He has led the design and creation for all Universal Rides Experience, theme lands, destination hotels, city walk, and theme parks. Most recently, again, if you've seen the pictures and the videos and everything of Universal Beijing, he oversaw the creation of Universal Studios Beijing. So a really great, pedigree as far as creative side is concerned when it comes to Mr. Woodbury. I think that's great. Then there's, some of the statements about his insight, guest experiences, strategy, financial stewardship. So, looking at these, two announcements, they could, they're kind of the same thing, but they couldn't be more different as far as the directions that they're kind of heading. So, on the Six Flags side, you've got somebody who, again, all accounts, he's been doing a really great job at Six Flags. Got them through the pandemic, things like that. And then being replaced by somebody who kind of squeezes and chunks, companies out and, stuff like that. So it's kind of a different, thing there. And then in Universal, you've got, hey, let's put the creative guy in charge. So, and then if you kind of see the direction that, Six Flags is taking and Universal's taken over the past, 12, 15 years, you got to kind of give the benefit to Universal right there for this. So it's a kind of a jarring, especially coming one day after the other. It's kind of a couple of jarring announcements. Not as far as surprising in their content, but surprising in how opposite they are and how they're different directions they're kind of going in. So you got one chain going in this direction of we need to put somebody in here who's doing certain things with past companies. And those, Spirit Airlines, low cost, a la carte, that stuff. And you got Universal Creative kind of on this side, doing that thing. So again, similar announcements, but very different in their execution, very different in the types of people that they're bringing in to replace, either retiring or let go people. So, we'll see what happens. But there's my thoughts on the new CEO for Six Flags and Universal Parks. We'll see kind of how that works in the long run. Wish them both the best. Wish, the parks the best. I hope they're both going to be in good hands. With Universal, I'm very confident that those parks are going to be in very good hands. With Six Flags, I think we're going to see some more drastic changes as a result of this announcement. And we've been talking about it, for a couple of years now. RD had been talking about it in some articles for a few years now. And it kind of looks like this next step. Mike Spanos was not that person to kind of divide things up and, do that. This new group kind of seems like it is. So, we'll see what happens over the next few months, and obviously we will keep you up to date. As far as updates the rest of the week, we did have some friends at Disneyland and California Adventure on Sunday, and yesterday everybody thought it was us, or it was me and my wife. We were not there. We had some family stuff to take care of. So, but I think that's great that people thought it was us. We got a couple of messages, where are you in the park? We're not. So that's great that we were able to hand it off for a couple of days to some friends, and they were able to do some updates. So we'll put together a quick update on that for this week. As I mentioned, Renee will be at IAAPA tomorrow. So we'll obviously have a lot more IAAPA stuff coming up the rest of this week. There's going to be a lot of more announcements. Kennywood even just announced that they're going to be announcing something. I think it's on Friday. This is Tuesday, the 19th. So that was going to be our original day at IAAPA. So we'll go get that announcement on Friday. And then, as I mentioned, we will be all over the place this weekend, as I mentioned at the top of this video. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Make sure you click and subscribe, and we will talk to you soon.